child, and I'm wondering if it affects his brain in a different way than it would affect my brain or an adult brain.
Those are really good questions that I would think one would ask before they gave the substance to the child. Because I say, how does it work? I don't know. What's in it? I don't know. How does it affect the developing brain? I don't know. Smoke 'em up, buddy. Okay, coming up, what Salvia is actually doing to Jerry's brain, and why this mother and son say they don't want Salvia to be outlawed, certainly in their home state of Texas. But we're going to meet a man who's doing everything in his power to make sure it is banned forever. We'll be right back.
I don't believe that salvia should be outlawed because there hasn't been a lot of evidence showing that it is a harmful drug. The last time that I used salvia was Saturday. It was either Saturday or Sunday, and it was very briefly. My memory is not as good as it used to be.
It's legal right now, and I'm going to take advantage of that. I like it, so as long as it's legal, I'm going to smoke it.
Well, we've been talking about the controversy surrounding salvia, a popular drug, herb, whatever you want to call it. In 43 states, it's legal. You can just walk in and buy it, and teens in America are smoking, snorting, taking it orally, making tea out of it, just to get high. When they get high, they get stupid. I'm sorry, they just get stupid. I mean, they say stupid things, they fall over, they hallucinate, they distort reality. And because it can be obtained legally, the Drug Enforcement Agency can only flag it as a drug of concern. Now, Rebecca says she's concerned that her 16-year-old son, Jerry, is caught up in this destructive teen trend after she has caught him smoking the herb and found him, in her words, just flat out high as a kite on 4 different occasions. She says she's worried and wants her son to stop, but here's the interesting point. She keeps buying it for him. How's he doing in school?
He expelled for the past 3 years. He's been skipping school. He doesn't have any motivation. That's one of my big concerns with Jerry, is that since I'm a teacher, education is important, and I have to go and sit with him in class sometimes to get him to do his work.
Am I getting punked or something? I mean, you're a teacher.
Correct.
In what grades?
I teach high school English.
High school English. And you are a user of this, which is legal for you. So I'm not suggesting that you're breaking the law. You are using a drug that impairs your brain to the point of lack of contact with reality, distorting to the point of actually having visual hallucinations, which are consistent with the most extreme forms of schizophrenia. So that's how far out this is taking you in your experiences, and you're giving it to your son. And you say it's taking away his motivation. It certainly contributed to it. You say he is addicted to it, and you get in your car and you drive down and purchase it for him?
Well, I don't really know how to motivate my son, and I know this is not
Okay.
the...
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but let's talk about you first. Let's motivate you. You've got to put on your mommy pants and say, no. No. We're just not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Isn't it your job to protect him?
Yes, it is my job to protect him.
And you say it's legal. Matches are legal, but that doesn't mean you set your hair on fire. I mean, okay. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I have asked Dr. Travis Stewart, who is the host of the new show, The Doctors, which is a new hit show that answers all medical questions you could ever want to have answered. He's here. I'm going to ask him from a medical perspective what he thinks about salvia and what he thinks about this young man using it. We'll be right back. We're talking today about risky and dangerous things that teens can do. Let me tell you why I'm doing this show, because you, the viewers, have asked me to do it, and here's what I want to happen. I want you to stay a step ahead of your teens. I'll bet you a lot of you have not ever heard of salvia, which is a legal substance that people can take that is a hallucinogenic, much like LSD. And if you didn't know about it, I want you to know about it. I want you to know it when you see it. It ain't oregano. It is a very, very dangerous substance, in my opinion. Now, Dr. Travis Stork is an emergency room physician. He's co-host of the new hit show, The Doctors, that deals with all the medical questions, whereas I deal with the psychological and human functioning questions. Dr. Stork, I've been watching you while I've been sitting up here. You look speechless.
Your son, his brain is still developing, and you're giving him a drug that we don't know the long-term effects. We already know the short-term effects. He's failing school. And there's no such thing as moderation when you talk about your child's brain. 10 years from now, his brain could be functioning at a lower level because he's using salvia.
I want you to take a look at this for me. I've got a graphic for you, and Dr. Stork, you can help us through this. But what we have here are brains of a child, an adolescent, and an adult. Now, where you see blue and purple are either undeveloped or underdeveloped areas of the brain. And the reason you see that with a child age 8 is because their brain isn't through growing yet. I mean, it's just beginning to develop. At age 16, very close to your son Jerry, you'll notice that there is more green, which is developed, but there are still parts that are the red and purple. And then at age 24, the brain is pretty much through growing. So isn't it true, Dr. Stork, that a child with a brain in development would very likely be more vulnerable to any kind of foreign hallucinogenic than somebody with a more mature brain?
Absolutely. Children's brains are so much more malleable than adults.
You know, that's the whole point. Can I have the graphic back, please? In the middle, you see these little neurons down below the brain. These, you see they're not at all connected with the child. Then when you get in the middle, they begin to connect a little bit. And on the adult brain, they're connected much, much more. That's because at age 16, there's very focused learning. And there's not a lot of interconnectivity between the brain from experience and judgment. What is the effect of salvia on these connections? Is he failing to connect? Is this disrupting what's happening for him later? We don't know. What we do know is that it's so powerful that it causes hallucinations. We invited Charles Anderson here. He is a Texas state representative, and he is pushing an anti-salvia bill because he wants the herb outlawed in Texas. Take a look.
When I first heard about salvia, when I had a constituent come to me very distressed, that's what happened to his daughter. She tried salvia, and it caused her to have tremendous psychological effects. A lot of parents have no idea as to what's going on. 750,000 youngsters have used salvia. Salvia is dangerous. There are 12 states that have banned salvia. Salvia is currently legal in Texas. We hope to ban salvia. The state has a role to protect our youngsters.
Okay, thank you so much for being here. You intend to get this outlawed in Texas, true?
Absolutely, Dr. Phil, and I really appreciate you taking the time and dealing with this issue. As we say, there's 750,000 youngsters last year, and this is our future. And we have to step out, and we have to continually educate people, educate parents, and educate youngsters. And as you mentioned before, I went across the street from my hotel just to see how available it was out here, and was able to purchase this for about $25 as a gram of salvia.
Last night.
Last night.
So you just got down, went over and picked it up just like that. I mean, that's how readily available it is. Is there any pushback, Representative? Is there any pushback of people not resisting your trying to outlaw this?
Yes, there is. Some folks feel that we shouldn't be banning any drugs, but the same people say we shouldn't ban cocaine or any other drug of that nature.
Are you thinking about it now?
Yes.
I mean, have I made you think about it?
Yes.
I mean, I'm asking you questions that you have no possible answer for, and you say we're more like friends. You said he disrespects you.
Yes.
He talks ugly to you, talks back to you, won't do the things that you tell him or ask him to do. That sounds like a very good friend to me, which works out famously because you ain't friends. Okay? I mean, this is your child. This is your child, and it is your job to step up and protect him from himself, from others, from chemicals, from toxins, from anything and any threat in this world. And if you need help,
I do need a lot of help.
in getting a backbone and a spine and learning how to tell that young man no and jerk a knot in his tail. If he doesn't do the right thing, then I will make those resources available to you, okay? I really will.
How do I know if he's addicted, and how do I know if he needs help?
Well, I'm going to tell you that he is, and that he does, and we're going to get some professional help to intervene in this and see if we can unravel it some. Okay? This is right away. We will do this right away, okay?